Hello, everyone. Today I'm here with Evan Goodfellow. He's an independent poet.
I
And today we're going to talk about writing for the purpose of self promotion as an independent artist. So, we're going to start with defining what you do. Evan, how would you define your art and your goals?
generally what I write is just like free verse poetry. But I also like structure with some other forms of that. Some So my main goal is to try and share my writing with I guess just with as many people as possible. And also I want to get involved in like a larger writing community. I want to meet other people who are like-minded, who like to write. I've I started writing poetry in like third grade, but it was mostly just like for fun. We had like this poet. We had a poet come in to talk to class, and that was like a big source of inspiration for me. There were a lot of books around the house, and so I guess I started out like for a while. I was just kind of doing it for fun and for self expression. Then when I got to like college, I wanted to like try and like take it more seriously and like really like improve it as a craft.
That's great. And what are some of your inspirations?
So like I guess when around like high school, I was like really into like the beat poets because a lot of times they use like stream of consciousness, like kind of like that kind of unedited raw verse. And I really like doing that. And I still do that. But more recently I've been trying to like work with like punctuation and forms and like weird that like more unconventional uses of language. So I started getting into like E. Cummings. He wrote what's it called again? Somewhere I Have Never Traveled Gladly Beyond. That's like one of his most famous ones. It's like one of my favorite poems of all time. And I guess what I sometimes try to do with my poetry is I try to find like a way to like bring those two together, that kind of like stream of consciousness with like the like unconventional punctuation and language use, because I feel like that's like a way to like give like a sense of like how human thinking like actually looks like, you know what I mean? Or like I guess like the best representation you could get with that with just writing.
How are you distributing your art at the moment?
So right now I have like just like like a few poems on Instagram. And I've been I haven't developed like a full schedule yet, but I want to try and like be putting stuff on there regularly, like bi-weekly, weekly, just so I can, try and like, build up like an image for myself, like a platform. Yeah, that's pretty much the only place that you can find it.
Gotcha. And what kind of audience are you trying to reach?
Um, hopefully, hopefully like all kinds of people, just because like I feel like in a lot of ways, like poetry is kind of like viewed as like a highly like intellectual pursuit, but like I feel like there's a lot that can be taken, that like a lot more people can be getting out of it. But like I also want to be, you know, I guess like being recognized by like other writers, because like that's how I can get involved with like, like writing communities, like maybe like find workshops and stuff so I can uh yeah, just so I can improve my writing and just like meet other really good writers and like and learn from them and just enjoy what they're writing.
Moving on, I just want to go to the structure of what you're doing on your Instagram. The structure of your Instagram, we can start with your bio. It's nice and short and sweet. So, what is yours?
So usually, so what I have right now is just poetry, free verse, and otherwise, just so people can immediately look at it and understand what it is that I'm doing.
And through the your Instagram, how you're promoting your poems, I noticed that you're doing, including some graphic design elements. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah. So what we have, like, we have two images, one that's the title page and one that actually has the text of the poem on it. And they each have like an image that I felt like kind of related to the feel, like at least a feeling in the poem, or help to like kind of add like a scene to it, or like a sense of a sense of a place.
So I guess moving on to the submission process. Um, why submit your work to a publisher?
Yeah. So what I've been trying to do, like in the past months, is try to get my stuff to like onto like online journals. There's like a huge variety of them that you can go to. Like that, most of them are basically just like a Google search away. So like one that I was going to be sending my stuff to was called the Santa Ana Review. It's based in California, but they since it's online, they take poems from like all over the country. Um, I think it's like a lot of places, a lot of like writing things. It's associated with like a with like a university. This one's like with like the University of California. Like that's like a very common thing you're gonna find that like a lot of them are like academically related.
So we just talked about submitting your work to online magazines and journals, and one in particular, the Santa Ana River Review. And can you just walk me through the process?
All right. So when you go onto their website, so when you go into a website, usually they'll have place will have like a submit page, and like before you do this, like say if you just found this place, you might want to like go to like their about section as well, just like see like what kind of like genres they take, like what their general vibe of the submissions are, and if they have a chance, like say if they don't say a lot about that like specifically, check their if they have like copies of their magazine or like previously accepted submissions, try and like get like a like see if there's like a pattern or like some kind of thread that you can see, and then you can kind of see like, is this really the place that I want to go, the place that I want to put my stuff. All right, so once you've figured out like what their if you, this is place is right for you, go and just go to their submission page, and all right, so here we have poetry. These are the requirements for poetry. So you can send up to three poems. As the can be up to 7 pages, like all together, and they want it in like a single Word document. That's like a big thing. A lot of places will allow you to send like more than one poem at a time, which is pretty useful, like especially if you're like not sure like, all right, what's good or like what's going to actually mesh with like the site itself. All right, so after that, most places are going to have a link to a website called Submittable. It's like a third party website where like a lot of different places use to like to have written submissions sent to. Here's what that looks like for them. So like they have this customized page here. So it's going to go over a little bit of about them, and it's going to give you formatting again. All right, so go down here, press submit. So they want you to have your submission and then also a cover letter with a short biographical statement. Here's what the cover letter is generally going to sound like. Dear editor, please consider the attached poems titled Love Sonnet and When I Was 14. After reading the featured submissions on your website, I felt inspired to submit my work as well. I'm an unpublished writer, but I believe my poems would be a suitable addition to a future edition. Regardless of your decision, thank you for reading my work. Think about it like you're sending out like something to a place that you're like a job that you're applying to, or like school, or like a professor or something. Like you want to make sure this sounds like
something formal,
professional. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, formal. Because and so you want to, but you also want to keep it brief too. You don't want to like go like overboard on something like this. You want to give them the information that they need, like they want to know like what the titles were and like how I found out about them, like why I wanted to submit to them. And you also want to give them like a basically your credentials as a writer. Like have you been accepted before to other magazines? Like do you have like published work, like a book or something, like, yeah. And like those things are taken in consideration when they're like accepting your work. It's like, all right, this person maybe has their own readership that would read their poem.
So to bring an audience to the magazine or the publishing site.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
And also, make sure to be polite, thank them for their consideration and all that,
It's important.
Now the bio, they're generally going to want to have in third person. So basically just describe yourself and what you're trying to do with your writing as concisely and clearly as possible. So here's what I wrote. Evan Goodfellow is an amateur poet looking to share his work outside of an academic setting. He has been writing poetry since the third grade and wrote all throughout high school and college. He struggles with depression, social anxiety, and previously undiagnosed ADHD. Inspired by his poems, he wants to write poetry that translates these struggles into a fantastical and extravagant way to represent the way perceptions can overwhelm a reason. So this might be honestly a little flowery, but like you want to show that you're like actually putting thought into like what you're writing. Just like a sense of where you're going, a sense of direction.
You want to tell about the writer, not about your writing.
Yeah. So after you have all that, you just upload your stuff. Make sure that you like read all their guidelines. Some places will want you to like not have your name on the submission. It's on like the submission itself. Like it's all going to be on like the form through Submittable, right? But like they want to read things blind. Just in case there's any like what's it called again? Conflict of interest or something like that.
And so Submittable saves all of your work within the website as well. So you're able to save those poems on the site and then send it to other publishers as well, correct?
So yeah, so the file is going to be in there attached to your submissions. So you could like you can very easily find them again.
So I just want to talk a little bit more about the community of poets and in general, what communities are available to join at the moment.
As a writer, it's definitely easiest to find a community if you are currently engaged in some kind of like academic institution. So you could be even doing this at like, it doesn't have to be like a major public university or like some kind of like private university. Like there are places like this at community colleges, like classes, like professors who are like arranging things, and sometimes they'll have events too. So that's like the easiest way to find that. But there's also like independent stuff. Like there's the Philly Pigeon, which is a group that makes that has like Zoom events and like regular contests. And then there's also like smaller communities. Like people will have like open mics at places, or like just like smaller. I mean, not as much now, right? Of course, because of pandemics, because of the pandemic. But there's still like safe outdoor events. There was, what was it called? Herbs and Words. That was a performance I saw was open in Philly. It was like a small like masked outdoor event. The biggest thing is just kind of like look at your the biggest population center around you, and you'll be able to like look up some kind of group basically.
And what are some ways to build your platform through these communities?
So I guess like one thing is just through like kind of like the standard idea of like networking. Like you follow my stuff, I follow your stuff. Like your friends will see my things. You know what I mean? Like say if like people have, a lot of people will have like stuff on Instagram or like websites. These writers can all like, they're also like, you'll also meet like more established writers, or like writers that have been doing it for longer. So you can like improve your writing. So it's like more likely for you to be like accepted at online magazine, which can help you promote yourself. And also just like making sure to like be involved in like events so people can see who you are.
Gotcha. And I think the last thing I want to talk about is why it's important to reach out to other artists and involve other artists of varying mediums within your work.
The biggest reason for me, so like meeting other people from other mediums who do other artistic mediums, like you're putting yourself in contact with people who have a lot of different kinds of skills. Say like someone who is good with graphic design or with like photography could help you like setting up like visuals for your art. Like if you like are trying to like really like take things seriously with your art, and you want to spend a lot of time like making sure it's like the best it can be, there's a lot of time that you're not going to be able to spend on like learning like a lot of like very specific skills, like things with like Photoshop or like designing things. So like meeting those people allows you to like save time, and also just like you get to be involved with like people who are doing like really interesting things. Like you might have never thought of like putting pictures with your poetry, or like say you met like a musician who might have like recording technology, like have knowledge of recording technology. You could record your poetry or like set your poetry to music. Like there's a million things that you can do, but like you have to make sure to be meeting people who can do those things.
I couldn't agree more. So I think that about wraps everything up. We've definitely gone over multiple ways to promote yourself, specifically as a poet. I hope everyone learned some useful information that will help them improve their art and help them promote it in the future. And I'd just like to thank Evan for joining me on this Zoom call. And
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.
absolutely. And I'll see you guys in about 2 weeks.